Good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back to Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world. The evening show over here, Tuesday evening. I've got my brother Raz somewhere over here on my left. Is it my right? Is it my left? Well, here it says my left, but on the screen it says my right. On my
Camera.
left, what?
I think it's camera left.
Camera left. But yeah, anyway. So we're going to be reviewing some of the news of today, some hot topics to be had. Actually, I did talk about Super Bowl and American football back in it what's it, late 80s, early 90s. Yeah, the Raiders, but I've just kind of gone off that. But we might be talking about Josh Kroenke's comments and thoughts on the interview, as well as reviewing a prediction coming from a Liverpool legend. Well, I guess he was a Liverpool legend as well because he won the Champions League. And something about Jack Wilshere. This newspaper are late on the Jack Wilshere news, man. But as usual, we'll get into this one on the other side of this music intro. Yeah, we're back in the house. Yeah, Cannon 40 TV Tuesday evening chats. Yes, if you wouldn't mind, just find, like it says down there, it says I can't touch the button because we're in the virtual world, so I can't press the button. But you know what I'm talking about. Subscribe to Cannon 40. Press the damn button. Anyway. Yeah.
Why don't you just get a cardboard cutout and a bell, and whenever you press the bell,
But I can't reach down to it, can I?
No, you're stuck in Highbury, mate. That's why.
Oh dear, my goodness, Ralph, you just don't know, man. How's it going, man? Anyway, how's it going?
Yeah, like I said, I had a day off today, but I was still working. I got work related stuff to do, and I'm getting myself ready for tomorrow. So yeah. Although I'm meant to be chilling and relaxing, not on a day off, I just seem to be more busier, even busier on my days off than I am when I'm in work. I'm in work, I'm even busier still. So trying to find that fine balance to try and look as if I'm gliding, but under the water I'm paddling like fury.
I wonder how much percentage do we not talk about Arsenal related stuff on Cannon 42? But I do get asked that question actually. They'll say, I can't believe, Alex, every time you do your show, you always talk about Arsenal. Is it only about Arsenal? I mean, we talk about the weather sometimes, we talk about our jobs sometimes, we talk about other bits and pieces. But I wonder what percentage do we not talk about Arsenal on Cannon 42? It'd be very, very interesting.
I think it'd probably be about 10%.
Do you reckon? Do you reckon 10% that high?
Yeah, I mean, we do tend to we don't ramble. Most of our focus on certain agendas does tend to lead into. I mean, with Eltel, for example, most of his experiences.
That's the 10% right there, isn't it? That's
yeah.
The 10%. Yeah.
So,
that's the 10%.
I think that's the 10%. Yeah.
Anyway. So yeah, the first thing I want to kind of review that we spoke about on the morning show was about Josh Kroenke. Josh Kroenke makes a claim on Arsenal fans and English supporters. Now, Josh Kroenke was on a show or a podcast called Road Tripping, and that he says that he believes that the level of passion amongst Arsenal fans and English football supporters in general is like nothing else that he has seen. Now, Kroenke, of course, has played his part in a turbulent time at the Gunners' history, and he's been on the board since, I didn't realize that, since 2013. And in that time, the FA Cup has brought their only taste of silverware. But Arsenal fans will appreciate their director has now said about the level of support the Gunners enjoy. The level of passion that is involved in European football and support that goes into these clubs. I don't want to say it's deeper than anything we have over here, but it's way deeper than anything that I have ever seen. Now, I'm sure some of you might, or maybe you didn't see the like a laid-back interview. He spoke about not only about Arsenal, he spoke about actually quite well, Ralph, about the history, you know, about the Invincibles when his father brought Arsenal, and then they were like, I mean, he kind of papered over the issue of Usmanov. He said, my father eventually got the rest of the shares from a minor shareholder, and they've been doing this or been doing that. I said, right, okay. So you know the history, but the talk, but you need to walk the walk, Ralph. But yeah, Ralph, Josh Kroenke.
So when you said that, he said he was a bit surprised about the level of engagement from Arsenal fans.
Yeah. Do you know why he said that, Ralph?
No.
Do you know why he said that? Because of the Super League. He didn't realize there should have been a backlash the way it was. I mean, he spoke about when COVID hit, and they were saying, well, you know, where's the income stream coming from? But the reason why he spoke about the level of passion from the supporters was because when they tried to sneak into, you remember the forefathers of the Super League and the backlash that they received from there. That's why he said that the passion that the fans have is not like nothing that he's ever seen. So that's why it came across, and that's actually why it came across about, you know, that debate about the passionate fans. It was about the Super League.
Oh, so that was that the line of questioning that
yeah,
he,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Because I was going to say that if he kind of underestimated the way that Arsenal fans are, I would have thought that that would have been one of his first bits of information to know about the club. You know, how devoted our fans are, or how devoted the fan base is, and you no doubt will see that when you actually engage with the fans. You know, when you sit amongst them, although you're in your press box, in your own box, so to speak. You know, you're not at either the Clock End or the North Bank. So yeah, I mean he's got to know his product, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's got to know his product. So reading about the history of Arsenal, it is all there for all to see.
Exactly. Yeah.
To me, it's still an American still trying to understand how the Premiership is and how Arsenal has been within that period of time. And I'm sure that he's been in lots of conversations with his dad at a time when his dad was willing to talk to him about Arsenal, because his dad's not going to be there forever. So handing over a potential legacy, as it were. He's got to tell his son all the ins and outs. I'm not really that surprised, to be honest. To me, it's just more sound bites.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, he came across as being quite sincere. I give him that. But again, just charting the history of Arsenal, anyone can do that. Anyone can do that. But what's startling for me, Ralph, what stood out, reading a report there that he's been a director at Arsenal since 2013. So he's had how many years? What, 9 years? And what much? We haven't done much, have we? In that time that you've been as a director, you haven't done much. And again, when he was asked a question about the Super League, that's when the point came out about, the fans were so passionate because you were trying to grab the crown jewels without anyone actually seeing you sneak in the building of Emirates and sneak out. That's what it was. But the proof will be in the pudding, Ralph. He did say he's got a fan meeting, I think either today or Friday. So he says that he's kind of connected with, fan representation, which is good.
Okay.
But you need to listen. And actually, the point I made on the morning show, Ralph, is this is why we need fan representation on the board. We need it on the board. Yeah, but what can I say?
So I'm sorry. So his title, he's been sat at the board since 2013.
Yeah, the director.
Okay, but that doesn't mean anything.
But it should mean something, Ralph.
It should mean something. It should mean that you've got more than a say in how you want the club to run. And I'm pretty certain that he must have his own agenda. If he kind of like quietly put to one side the fact that Usmanov was such a willing physical entity at the club, because he went to the games. He would tell you, no doubt, rank and file on every player. That I have no doubt, and he had the money to back it up. To me, he could be sat at the board. He could, but it doesn't mean to say he was effective. He's going to be effective more now. Now that to me, the grand dream of the Kroenkes was to win the Super Bowl. So that ship was coming, because I was looking at a sports channel, a terrestrial sports channel, and they were saying how that there was two ways that they had to the LA Rams had to try and win this trophy. It was either through draft picks or as finances. So one or the other had to work. You know what I mean? So that to me, that's where their focus have kind of gone off us. So sat at the board doesn't mean to say that he's been effective. It just means that he sat at the board. His dad's allowed him, that kind of like breath. You take in everything that I may have missed, but I'm still top dog. That's the way that I see it. There was one
question, Ralph. If Alisher Usmanov was the outright owner of Arsenal, do you think we would have been in a better position than we are now?
Alex, ifs, ands, buts, and maybes, mate.
No, I know.
I feel that Usmanov, because he was at the games, because he was at the board, and I don't think it would have come across to him to have 100% ownership. I feel that he would have felt that there's strength in numbers, and I don't think he would have been that massive an ego to think that he had the answer to everything. So he would have had key people in places. Look at, unfortunately, I have to mention this. Look at Chelsea. Chelsea, they've got a woman on the board, and nothing gets past her without her say so. Abramovich may be the owner, but this woman, I would like to have known who she is. But she pretty much signs the checks. She it's her say so pretty much. So to me, Usmanov, I think would have been of that kind of like caliber. He would have understood that he doesn't know everything, but he would have got the right people in the right place and to fix the defense, fix the attack, the midfield. We could have gone in for key players at that time when Wenger was almost on the wane. You know what I mean? While Kroenke and Usmanov were there battling it in the boardroom, we didn't see that. We only saw, or we only heard the responses of what could have happened afterwards. But we saw it on the pitch. We saw the deficiencies in defense and midfield and the attack when the so-called invincibles, when they went, and moving from one stadium to another. It's a tagline almost to every Arsenal conversation that we had. We had to pay for the stadium. Usmanov had the money. Kroenke had the money. So how comes that the Kroenke just said, you know what, let's do a joint venture, and make sure that we at the end of the day, we should see it this way. They're here for us. We're not there for them. They're here for us. We paid the money going through the gates, buying the merchandise and the kits. How many kits is it now? Right? But ultimately, when the only thing that that Kroenke had to come in at an angle was that when he had gained 100% ownership, he doesn't have to be answerable to anyone. And I think that was one of his key reasons. And I say, even from that day to this day, the people around the board who allowed him that, they're just as culpable as he is, who owns the club. One other thing as well, when you mentioned about Josh being inviting certain fans and everything else, have we been invited to sit amongst them and to put my points across?
Well, it's a virtual meeting, isn't it? Because he's still out in the States, and I know that one of our contributors, Jonathan, who's out in Colombia, was part of that forum there. So I need to find out from him how would Cannon Foy need to kind of access and be part of the forum there. But it's a virtual forum, so
okay.
Yeah,
there's a virtual forum. So Josh is not in the country.
No, he's in the States, isn't he? He's in the States.
So is he going to be back for our next match?
That's a good question. It's a good question. I doubt it very, very much.
Is Kroenke going to be back? Because now he's won his dream trophy. Surely now he'd be thinking, well, let me try and fix the other franchises that I've got under my wing. But there you go.
Nah. Did you see the Super Bowl, Ralph?
I only saw the highlights, but I saw when they handed the trophy. There's is it Sean McVay? He was standing there, and Kroenke's in front of him. I'm thinking, that's not right. I'm sure last season they gave the trophy to the coach, and then the coach gave it to the owner, and then the owners they did what they did. Yeah. But to see Kroenke up there,
yeah,
it just says it all, really.
Yeah.
It says it all.
And which is why as much as Josh came across quite well. He knew his stuff, but again, that's something that maybe a year 6 child could go back and research. Again, you talk the talk, but now you need to walk the walk. Since 2013, you've been on the board. That's more than enough time to have shifted and at least help us to win the Premier League. 17 years and counting. So I'm sorry, I don't want to sound negative, but I'm not buying all this stuff about we're working with Arteta, because he said Arteta was an Arsenal player in his time, and we're working with him and Edu, and it was also an art. I thought no. I'm not buying. I've actually had enough, Ralph. I've had enough of the Kroenkes. But is that going to change anything? No, it's not. It's not going to change anything. So I'm quite happy for Cannon Foy to be on this side of the fence, critiquing Arsenal, rather than on that side of the fence. No, it's not going to change anything, Ralph. It's not going to change anything.
Like I alluded earlier, he could have read Arsenal's history, because it's all there for everyone to see. He could have conversations virtually or in person to Edu and Arteta. Does he have an invested interest in talking to the players to find out, what the players' hopes and ambitions are for the club? How vested interest is he when we have a signing? Does he do his research to find out about those players? Does he look at the Premiership as a whole and the Championship below that to find out who could be the new and up and coming talents? I don't know the man from Adam. I see his picture. We got his picture. I only know of what happens when we don't get what we want. That's the only way I can put it. That's the only way I can put it. When we don't get what we want, then that's when I start wanting to start firing questions and thinking, okay, so if you've got this kind of like power to put the money in the bank so that we can spend it, and let's face it, we have spent money. We may not have spent money in the right way, but we spent money. Surely he must have a conversation with the people that be and say, hang on now, I've just given you 45 million. What's going on? I've just given you 150 million. What's going on? I've given you 250 million. What's going on? It's like, for example, if I have to give money to someone, I'm not going to ask what they've done with it, because I've got full faith. I've got faith that if I give it to them. But if I, for example, became a multi-millionaire overnight, and someone taps me up and they say they want £1 million, I'm going to say, okay, what do you want it for? and when I'm going to get it back. That's only two things I want to know. You know, what do you want it for, and when I'm going to get it back. When I give it to you, your own job is to make sure I get that money back in the same shape and form that I give it to you. Now there's, you know what? I know you gave me £1 million, but can I pay you in monthly payments? If I give you £250, 250,000 this month, but nothing for the next 4 months, I'm going to be chasing after you. You know, I'm going to want to know what's going up, what's going down.
You make it sound like me, man. But is this on the premise that you're talking about Arsenal? If you were a billionaire owner and Edu came to you asking for money, or you're basically just generally?
No, I'm Arsenal. Arsenal as a whole. You know, I'm sat there. I'm on the board. I'm on the board. All of a sudden, all the board members have to come in. They have to buy in to Arsenal. I think, which is what they would have done years ago. It would have been a conglomerate, wouldn't it? You know, yeah. Jones the butcher and Mickey, who owns the off license or the pub or whoever owns land or cattle, whatever it was. They all sat around the table. They all want to buy into Arsenal. The stake is £1 million. Okay, we've got. But then, of course, you want your rate of return. You want to make sure that what you've invested in, you're going to get it back, because that's business. Let's not just give money for the sake of it. We want to make money as well. You know what I mean? So you're investing in it, but the long-term future for the club is to grow. If it starts declining, then that's when all the questions starts coming in. The club's just giving you to the manager now. The club's just giving you £250, 250 million, and we're 8th. What's going on? Does that mean I have to sack you? You know what I mean? Does that mean I have to sack you, or does that mean I have to give you another chance? And you have to get rid of those players. This is the conversation that I would imagine that they're having, but we're not privy to that. We only see what's happening on the pitch. And when you see Xhaka not turning quickly and pulling the shirt and giving the penalty for maybe the fourth or fifth time of his tenureship, and you're one of those guys who put money into the club, surely you got to ask questions. We're asking questions as fans. You know, forget VAR, forget the referee. When we internalize it, it's Arteta, it's the players, it's the owner, it's the people who sit around the table. That's when we internalize it. And then do we get the answers?
And that's why I think an Usman would have been a better bet to be the owner of Arsenal. I think you're right that he would not have gone after the whole 100% shares of Arsenal. He would have wanted, you know, fan representation, a voice from the fan base to be on the boards, you know, working well, not in harmony, but working together for the greater good of Arsenal, you know. But that boat has already sailed, hasn't it, Ralph? It's gone now because
it's long gone. It's long gone, and we're stuck. And I hate using that term. I hate using the word hate, but I dislike using that term. But the club, as far as I'm concerned, we're stuck with Kroenke. Now, as I alluded earlier, his other franchises, whether they're up there or not, one of them has paid off now. But they've paid off because he's heavily invested into that. The family. We're talking about Josh during a supporters meeting virtually. My man's still partying over there because you know the family is celebrating a Super Bowl. Now, in the quiet times when the balloons are popped and the champagne is flat and everything, do they start turning their actions back onto Arsenal? And as fans, Alex, that's what we want. Oh, great! You've got your dream of the Super Bowl. We're like this, waiting for Kroenke to actually say, you know what? Actually, let me see if I can give him some more money. Let's see if we can actually get into let's build a squad that can get us into the Champions League. Let's not just get into it. Let's win the thing. What's the mentality with them putting money with the LA Rams and winning the Super Bowl and doing the same thing for Arsenal so that we can one day win the Champions League and win the Premiership? it's not much difference. It's all about winning, but it's all about being strategic with your money.
But he doesn't see Arsenal as a problem now.
No,
he doesn't see Arsenal because Arsenal have been making him money. It's a money-making venture. That's all it is for the Kroenke. It's actually, further afield. It's a real estate money spinner for him. Arsenal for him is not a problem because we're churning out money every single year. But the moment there's like a dip, and that's why just Kroenke, when he spoke on the interview, the most starting point that he came up was like, oh well, we were thinking about with the COVID. What does it mean? Well, what it meant that your income stream had completely shut down. That's what had happened. So what you see now, Ralph, the repercussions of that, you're seeing the ridiculous pre-match kit. Pre-match kit, and what's the pattern on the pre-match kit? There's the freaking the seat on the underground. So they're looking at any which way but loose, Ralph, to equalize the money, the revenue that they've lost. And that's it. He doesn't see, or they don't see Arsenal as a problem at all because we're still eking out a good stream of income for his empire. And that's a problem. That's a problem. But just because the LA Rams won Super Bowl 56, that doesn't mean anything at all for Arsenal. It's the status quo. It's just going to be as you were, lads. As you were. Yeah, don't come to Papa for Arsenal any money because I don't see you as a problem child. You're not a problem child because you do everything I ask you to do. There's no problem child here, man.
I don't think it's problem. I think orphaned. No problem child. You can appease Nan again. No, we're not that. We're not in that household, man. We're orphaned.
No, we're not. All right. So the second, actually, we'll be just talking like 25 minutes about just Kroenke and this foolishness. Second segment, we're going to be talking about Jamie Carragher. Jamie Carragher has spoken about his, actually predicted a top four as Man United battle Arsenal and Tottenham. So Arsenal, Tottenham, West Ham, Man United, who are in action in half an hour's time. And perhaps Wolves are locked in a tight battle for top four. And Liverpool hero, it says here, Jamie Carragher has given his prediction on who will win it. I think it will be tough for West Ham to get into the top four. The former Liverpool and England defender told Sky Sports. Arsenal, what a win that was for them away to Wolves. The game in hand, no European football. You think about how long Man United would be in the Champions League. They could play a part. It feels like it will go down to the wire. I think it will go all the way to the end. Arsenal, do they have enough forwards? Spurs look in a bit of trouble right now. I think you'd take them out of it. Wolves look like a really good team. The Gunners have enjoyed a roller coaster of a season where they have simultaneously impressed but also collapsed on multiple occasions. However, Arsenal fans are certainly more optimistic than United supporters after Ralph Rangnick's side failed to hold on to a lead yet again. So, Ralph, question. We currently lie in sixth place. Is it sixth place? Sixth place? No, sixth place. We're in sixth place. There you go. That's the latest table as it stands. Top four for you, Ralph? Top four?
Are we strayed into another forfeit?
Oh, the wise one. See, Ralph's learned from his lesson. No, there's no forfeit, Ralph. Not yet. Anyway.
We'll have to do something with Arsenal fan circle next season.
We will.
I think that'd be a really good one. Next game, Alex.
Exactly.
Next game.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go and speculate, because it's like you're relying on everybody else to fail. And look at Wolves, for example. We did scrape a 1-0 win. We scraped a 1-0 win. It could have been 2-0. Didn't take the chances. It was a 1-0 win. Them down the road probably thought, we're going to show everybody, how it's done. And the 2 goals that Wolves scored, they were on them. They were on them the whole time for the whole half. I mean, you know, they had a couple of chances, them down the road did, but Wolves were on them. Wolves had them for you know, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know, so I was kind of pleased. But you know, to me, as long as we stay focused and do what we got to do, I'm not pandering to anyone else trying to see if we can get something from each. It's like, you know, you're begging that somebody's going to give you something, and then you're going to go and someone else and someone's going to give you something. No, let's you know, hold our own destiny, as it were. The team has to perform. The team's got to score goals, Alex.
Yeah.
The team. I'm not saying about whoever's up front, because we ain't got no Martinelli now for two matches, I believe. Is it 2 matches?
I believe so, yeah. I believe
right.
So.
So whoever, if Eddie is the man to step in, he's just got to start firing. Otherwise, I'd rather we just put Balogun in. Oh, we can't do Balogun because he's on loan, isn't it?
Yeah, to borrow. Yeah.
Right. So any youngsters, any under 23,
who's watching now, can avoid TV.
Now, bang on Arteta's door and say you want a chance, because we got no depth. We got no depth. We got no one who can step in and take over. So, and Eddie, if you know, this is again another gilt-edged chance for Eddie. You know, if you really want to stay, here you go.
Opportunity.
Start putting the ball in the back of the net. If you don't want to stay, just carry on doing what you're doing. And that may sound a bit harsh, but either way, I wouldn't expect him to be. If he's not signing, I wouldn't expect him to be at the Emirates for next season.
Yeah.
But as for Arsenal, just next game. And then after that, the next game, and after that, the next game.
Yeah, yeah. You can tell I'm Ralph's brother, innit? We think almost the same. We don't always agree on everything, but
no.
Yeah. All right. And then the last segment was actually about Jack Wilshere. I can't believe the Daily Express are so late on this one. What are they talking about? Now, what they're talking about is old news. They're saying Arsenal's chance of signing Jack Wilshere on a free may finally be ended for good. I said, well, he came out and actually said that Arteta does not want him to sign. So I'm not even going to bother, read that report, again. He already said last month that Arteta doesn't want me to sign for Arsenal. So anyway, so those have been the segments again from the morning show on Canon 4 TV, the evening show over here. I think what we'll do, let's go into the live chat and see what's joining us on this evening show. And we've got CM War Games. Good evening to you, Richard. I hope you're keeping well. And he also goes on to say, hey, Ralph and Alex.
Games, War Games.
Look who's in the live chat, Ashley. My nemesis. I feel a timeout coming in. Anyway. John the Geezer Goona is in the live chat. Good evening, friends. And Sean Foster says, evening, John. Okay, I think it's a friend of John, actually. Oh, Elle tried to call me whilst I was live. Club and accustomed to make me just talking about them nonsense. Yeah, just say it like it is. Just say it like it is.
Don't hold anything back.
Yeah, I blame some of the old directors that they took the money and ran over 100 years of history thrown away. Yeah, man. But I think at a certain point, once Kroenke had enough shares, I think it was only a matter of time, because if he's like a majority share owner, everybody else who had like small shares had to give them up automatically anyway. I think that's what yesterday.
Yeah, if you didn't hold a majority share, then you which is, to me, is not right really, because you've invested your time and money into the club. So it should be a right that if you want to still keep it, then you have an option. You can either have the option potentially could be you either keep it, but then you may have to increase your share ownership, after a certain period, if you don't want to do that, then you can hand it to somebody else who could do it, who can continue that share to somebody else. I'm sure there's like legalities that cover that kind of stuff anyway. But
no, because you mentioned Lady Bracewell, didn't you? You said that she gave up her shares, but again, did she have to give them up, or because the amount of shares that she had, she wasn't in that bracket where she had to compulsorily give up her shares? I mean, I don't know the legality.
I don't know. All I remember back in the day, I have to say back in the day, because I used to listen to a lot of Talk Sport because Wrighty was on. When they were covering this, I believe Lady Bracewell Smith, I think she gave away her shares. I think she gave away her shares. But you see, what they can say in the public domain and what they do privately is two different things. If someone give away a share, then potentially they gave their shares away for maybe a cut deal price, as it were. You know, they don't have to fully disclose how much it went for, because that's all, you know, it's all privacy laws as well, isn't it? You know, you have to delve a lot deeper into somebody's privacy laws, and you can't do that. So, but I'm pretty certain that she, in later years, she regretted giving the share to Kroenke as maybe one, and that's what happens. Somebody come in and they're all like, you know, silent but don't say anything. So you think, okay, maybe if I cozy up to them, I'll get something back. But he's been, if anything, he's been consistent. He's been consistent. Man. When people show you their side, and if you don't take it on board, then that's your responsibility. That's your responsibility. So they all knew what it was like, and you know, the price. The sad thing is the price was Arsenal, the future of Arsenal, and you know they gave it away, as John rightly says. You know, they gave it away. So it's for them to live with. I mean, we're living with it now.
We're living with it.
You know, we're living with it. But who knows? Who knows how much? How many grand? You know, can ease a conscience, so to speak.
John goes on to say that I respect the Kroenkes as business people, not football people. Okay, I mean, Ian Barrow, I've seen your comment, but I'm not going to put it up in my chat. But I understand your plight. Just stay safe and get better, my friend. Scott says Americans will never understand how much this team means to us. The problem is they don't care. They don't care about the human element, do they? They don't care.
I don't want to tar all Americans with the same brush, because they're passionate. It's just, when you look at it, it's just two different ways of financing a sport. Okay, the American way is about, you know, getting everyone together financially, you know, to elevate the sport. And they look after it, and they make sure they feed it down to their generations. That's their way. Our way of doing it, we've done things from the grassroots up, and we hope that when we get people in, that they share the same vision as well. We all want to win. We hate losing, but you know, loss is a necessary, because then it makes you want to stretch and improve on your model. The American model is all about franchises, and the franchises in American history, from the dawn of time to now, and maybe forever, that's the way that they're always going to go with. And it's just the Americans who come into this arena, into the football arena, the Premiership, and they think, well, we can. I've got my money. You want me, right? You want me. So if you want me and you want my money, then you have to do things my way. You know, and I think that's where the infighting has been. It's been like, well, we want you in, but you're not going to have all your own way. You know what I mean? You know, there's got to be a bit of give and take. But as far as some Americans are, it's like, well, if you want my money, then I'm going to do it my way, because otherwise I'll go somewhere else. Look at Newcastle, for example. You know, how many teams did they think that they wanted their money, that fitted their their profile. Also you've got Newcastle, a really big club when you look at it in terms of supporters and everything, and they're sleeping giants. Now they've got the finances behind them. They just escaped relegation, I think, as well, haven't they?
Well, I think they are above the relegation zone, I believe, with the win that they've got, but they're still not out of it. They're still not out of it, But yeah.
So potentially you could have one of the richest clubs playing in the Championship. And you can imagine some of the Americans will be thinking, well, that's not right. We have to buy our way out, like Man City did, and like Chelsea did. So here comes Mbappe or Neymar. Could you imagine if that was to happen? You know what I mean? We're not far away from that kind of like world player that can come to the Premiership, because money's going to be behind it. As much as we don't like that, because our foundation is all built on hard work and grit and graft, and you have to fight every team to get to the top level. It's only because money came into it with Abramovich and with don't forget the Glazers as well. Yeah. Man United. Liverpool. Liverpool.
Fenway Sports. Liverpool, I believe.
Yeah. So money's always been there, but it's just been highlighted when the team actually wins something. It's like, you can't be doing that. It's not fair. Well, no, it's not fair. But if we had the money, we'd do the same thing as well. Let's be real about that.
Richard says, but let's be fair, the Kroenkes didn't invest for a long time in the Rams. That's only been recently. Richard, to be honest, I couldn't care less about the Rams. I couldn't care less about what they do. I don't want to sound disingenuous, but I couldn't care less about his dealings across the pond. And my concern is about Arsenal and how you can see the demise of Arsenal. And we talk about Arsene Wenger. We talk about Unai Emery, a little bit of Freddie Ljungberg, and now Arteta. What's been the one consistent? KSE. So I couldn't care less what he's been doing with the Rams. Really, I don't have any concern about them at all. So yeah, sorry about that. Earl says, Ralph, we can only dream about our spineless and ambitious owners actually investing heavily in Arsenal to reach higher heights. It ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. Super Bowl win doesn't mean anything at all for Arsenal. So, Ralph, you want to say something, Ralph? Or?
No, what I was going to say is that I agree with Earl in the sense that if it was to mean something, it would have meant something at the time when we really wanted the owners to do something about it. I'm not on about last year with the protest to the potential Super League, and then the so-called demise of that. It's not a demise. It's just gone to sleep. It's like the hand in the crypt when you're thinking that it's okay. You open the crypt, all of a sudden the hand comes out and grabs you. You know what I mean? It'd be one of those kind of situations. So just gone to the background just for now. If the owner was an owner of sorts that he understood, like his son saying that he understands the fans now, the supporters now.
Yeah.
If Kroenke had an ounce of understanding, like Usmanov, we would have been so much further down the line than our competitors, I believe. Again, it's only assumptionary. But we would have been. Could you imagine if we had Mo Salah at Arsenal, if we had Conte at Arsenal?
Yeah.
Any of those players within the last 10 years who, to be honest, they've won the Premiership with teams that we have beaten in the past, but we haven't done anything on the European level, like Liverpool and Man United, and I say unfortunate now, Chelsea. Man City potentially could be there at some stage as well. So we'll be further down the line, but we didn't do that. We didn't have a owner who was ambitious. All the time he was silent. He was silent because his long con was to get to where he is now.
Yeah. By hook or by crook, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, Spurs have done very well lately, have they? They were 7th in the Premier League with 3 games in hand over Arsenal. They've played the 3 games in hand and are now 8th. Oh, yeah, they've done well. They've done well, actually.
I was wondering where Ashley was going to go with that one.
They have stripped the business back and free cash flow to allow us to spend big in the summer gone. And now we hopefully have a team in the back room that can deliver goods in the pre-season. Again, I don't want to be the prophet of doom, but sorry, Richard. No. I still think we can get top 4. We are stuck with a KSC. They aren't going to sell for less than 8.2 billion or more. Yeah, like I said, Man United play Brighton tonight in just space of like 10 minutes time. Our 3 games in hand are the Spuds, Chelsea, Liverpool. But if we can build up a lead before that, the top 4 is ours to lose. Well, like I said, actually, yesterday, Richard, one thing Arsenal have been consistent at is being inconsistent. The highs are the highs and the lows are the lows. So like my brother said, he's not going to forecast whether we can secure a top 4. But actually, that goes against my thinking, because I said we're not going to get top 4 anyway. But get game by game basis. Stop trying to forecast ahead of the game. I mean, yeah, just think about the next game in hand. What's the next game? Is the Brentford game. That's all we need to focus on. The moment you start thinking about, oh, we can probably get a win there, we can probably get, get points there. What you start to do, you start to build up the hope, and then when Arsenal don't, get the points, the fan base goes into overdrive. You go on Twitter, the meltdown is just incredible, Ralph.
But I know. Anyway, one other thing on that as well. What I want to mention is when you go game by game, your focus is just there on beating that team in front of you. You don't think about anybody else, because if you remember, I think really the habit of that kind of way of thinking was because when we had the team, we was able to say, oh, you know what, we're gonna, once we beat this team, then we can get to that point. And it happened that kind of way. Yeah, we don't have that team.
Exactly.
We don't have that team anymore. Not anymore. Potentially, we could have that team maybe in years to come. But at this moment in time, we don't have that team. Yeah. So it's no point trying to say Liverpool can say that, Chelsea can say that, Man City can say that. We can't say that. We're not there yet. We haven't got that team that can determine their own progress.
Scott says, I wonder if Tommy Ashley has been practicing that Harry Maguire backwards tackling. Have you seen it, Ralph?
No.
I don't know what Harry Maguire at £80 million doing like I don't know what he was because the winger had easily passed the ball past him on his left and then switched it to his right. Harry Maguire tried to stick out his foot at the back. It's difficult to describe. You need to go on YouTube, Ralph, and see it. I think at £80 million, £80 million, he's trying to do that kind of tackling there. Anyway, just take a game at a time. Saturday against Brentford. That's what we've been saying. One game at a time. I think it's one game, as it was a yellow. Yellow. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Smith Rowe or Pepe will step into Martinez. Well, if you compare, these are the options, and I'll say Smith Rowe. But I hope to see a Pepe get some game time, but I don't know. Jack will never wear the shirt again. I completely agree. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Actually, he said in the report that Arteta said, no, actually, I don't want you to sign for Arsenal. You can come and train with us, but don't ask me for a contract. That's just not.
I think Jack wears the shirt at weekends, man, underneath his other.
Ralph.
I still think forget about Brent. He played for Bournemouth, yeah, Bournemouth and West Ham, and forget. He just wears the Arsenal shirt underneath everything.
I believe it's a compulsory thing. Once a certain point is hit, that they have to sell the shares. Yeah. Yep, I did not mean all Americans. Sorry. Yeah, my brother, I think he made that sense anyway. I'm looking forward to seeing Christian Eriksen back. Yeah,
Yeah.
just so happy for him. Again, I didn't realize this in Italian football, you cannot play with a device fitted. So that's why he had to leave Inter. And yeah, I'm happy for him. It's good to see him back in the Premier League, not playing for them, not down the road. But I think he would do quite well at Brentford. I know it's until the end of the season, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him. But I hope he doesn't score against Arsenal.
I think it's a kind of like footballing triumph story, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
the
yeah.
guy was on the verge, isn't it? On the verge, man. Clifton says, hello, fellow Gooners. I'm following this episode. This episode. We've never been called an episode.
I think we have to start changing the titles, man. I think.
Leaving Highbury was a sad day. Yes. The funny thing is, I never went to the last day, the match at Highbury, but I remember going. I think, what was I doing? I was driving past the stadium with, I just seeped in sadness, again. Anyway.
Alex left his boots there.
I hung up my boots. But Ralph, do you remember, when I played at Highbury?
Yeah.
The boots that I wore were your boots, weren't they?
Yes.
That you lent me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you left them there.
I'm giving you props, man.
Huh?
I'm giving you props, isn't it?
Yeah. You should have scored with them.
That wasn't my job. Although I provided assists, but maybe you don't remember. But anyway. Good evening, Alex, Ralph, and the Canopy TV family. It says Monty, brother.
Monty.
Please leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new here. And John says we have got to the stage where fans are not needed in the stadiums. Exactly. The TV money, the sponsorship deals means we don't actually have to be physically in the stadium anymore. Right. So win back time, we could have stayed at Highbury. But I'm. Carl's in the house. Good evening, Carl. I hope you're keeping well. You must be very, very happy. Shall we talk about 1989, Ralph?
Why not, Alex? I think I might watch it again, now you brought it up. I've got it.
I will. The funny thing is, what, Ralph? Every time I watch it, I know the outcome, but when I'm watching it, the blow by blow, I'm thinking, oh, how are Arsenal? Are really Arsenal going to beat Liverpool by 2 clear goals? I'm always,
But Alex,
go on.
Don't you remember when we was watching that match? Right. First and foremost, Tom Watt, ex-EastEnder, Lofty, wasn't he, in EastEnders?
Yeah.
He gave a prediction. He said Arsenal's going to win 2-0. He was stood amongst all the Liverpool fans. There may be 1 or 2 dotted Arsenal fans, but he gave a prediction that Arsenal's going to win 2-0. But that night that we was watching it, I was videotaping the match, and I did, if you remember, I did what Colin Firth did. It was a Friday night, the match, wasn't it? It was a Friday night.
It was. And you what did you do, Ralph? Tell everyone what you did.
So the Friday night, so I set the videotape to tape the match. I'm sure it's at Mum's still. I'm sure it's at Mum. I don't know, I've got it here. But it's at Mum still. So tape the match, and we scored the first. We scored the first goal, and time was going on, and I thought, you know what? It ain't gonna happen, man. It ain't gonna happen. So Alex was still. You were still in the house, weren't you?
I was. I went to bed.
You went to bed.
Yeah.
But I went out. If you remember, we used to go to a club off Thomas Court Road.
Yeah.
Right, we won't say the name. So I went to the club, and then it must have been about 11 o'clock or nearly enough midnight. The DJ mentioned that Arsenal won the championship, and everyone's going, "Hey!" I was thinking, "Oh, you're joking!" So I drove back early hours to cut through Highbury, but it was quiet. we're talking about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. But the procession wasn't the Saturday, it was the Sunday, wasn't it? But I think Sunday we was playing football. We went to play football for another team.
Was it football or cricket? Didn't we have a cricket match?
End of the season, nah. Or was it? It might have been a warm up match if it was cricket.
It was, because I remember Joma asked us what happened to Arsenal. We said, no, didn't you hear that we won?
But Joma lives right at the back of the stadium.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I did the Colin Firth. Colin Firth actually got called back in by his mate in the film. Now me, I went to a nightclub. And tried to dance my frustration away, but end up being even more happier on the way back.
All right, let's just kind of go through this last few comments here. You played at Highbury. Yeah, I played at Highbury. I don't want to bore my brother with the story again, so I'm not going to.
Only if you must, Alex.
No, I'm not going to. But I did when I was
No, but just give a quick synopsis. It's Scott.
All right, Scott. So because I went to Highbury Grove School, we played in a cup competition called the Islington Gazette Cup. So it was all the schools, secondary schools in Highbury, and we made it to the final. And the final was at the old Highbury Stadium. We played against St. Aloysius. And it was 1981, 82, I think. And we drew 3-3. So I have played at the old Highbury Stadium. So that's the short story of it. Moving on.
But we also used to play kickabout in the training arena there as well.
You always said it, but I don't remember that, Ralph.
Yeah, we did. We did. We even did some cricket training there as well. Winter Nets we did, and we played football there. We played like five-a-side there as well.
I don't remember, man. I remember. All right. The last few now. Carl says, I believe Everton are up for sale for £1, but believe that's seriously overpriced.
Carl.
Do you realize that Anna Smith goal was handball? That was handball. Have a word, man. Have a word, Ralph. Handball. What are you talking about? Alex, I said that we could have stayed at Highbury, but I'm just a sentiment. Me too.
Hey,
the tagline was we needed to. I mean, first and foremost, Arsenal did put in a planning permission to increase the capacity, but the residents, as you will probably know, they didn't want the increase in capacity. So that was the tagline. So we're going to have to leave Highbury to compete with the big clubs in Europe. I was thinking, okay, right, but on reflection, we were already competing with the biggest clubs in Europe anyway. We're already doing it there. So we didn't literally need to leave Highbury. We didn't need to leave. And we would have lived within our means. I mean, I know we had a debt, I think we're maybe 50 million or 100 million, but you're going to a bigger stadium. And if you see the stadium now, compare it to the Highbury Centre, which is a listed building, I mean, there's no comparison. Emirates is crumbling. It needs, even a lick of paint is not going to improve its appearance. But we didn't need to leave the Highbury Stadium to compete with the big clubs in Europe because we were already doing it. I mean, crikey, we got into the Champions League final at Highbury Stadium, not at the Emirates. Anyway.
The only team that we beat when we left the Emirates, we beat Barcelona on a two leg, didn't we? Well, the first leg we beat them at home, but then they beat us away because they scored their away goal. So when you're talking about, you're right. We didn't need to leave. Really, technically speaking, we didn't need to leave Highbury because we were competing with the best in Europe.
Exactly. Scott says it's probably about time we drop some new merchandise. More merchandise. Scott, I know you're having a laugh, but what your thoughts on the mind the gap, the pre-match kit, the pre-match kit. Oh, what a joke! Anyway.
I think Alex, maybe we should tell Arsenal that we've got some merchandise that they can have. It should be a lot better than what they're trifling at the moment.
I just want to know what's Alex's forfeit if Arsenal do get top 4. Or it'll be an Ice Bucket Challenge, isn't it? It'll be an Ice Bucket Challenge, but I know it's not going to happen. But yeah, if Arsenal get top 4, I'll do the Ice Bucket Challenge. Yeah. Period. I think this will be the last one. That's a good way to end. Shout out to our 15,500 and some change subscribers and followers on all platforms. Without you, there could never ever be a Cannon for the TV, and that's the truth, Ruth. Right, my brother's going to do the outro. Go for it, Ralph.
Well, guys, once again, thank you very much for catching up with us. As I always mention, Alex does sterling work on the channel. I just drop in now and again. We've got great moderators like Ashley D and Monty, you know, many others, and it's good to have the odd Liverpool fan come in with a
just one.
Yeah, we have to limit it. That's why we have our moderators on there. Just the one. But no, but it's great. You know, where can you go on a Tuesday evening for light-hearted banter and chat and some serious, you know, information? Nowhere else other than Cannon for the TV. Cannon for the TV. This is a fantastic channel, and where are we? We are just this little middle section of the UK. If you're on that side of the world, you'll be seeing us soon. If you're on that side of the world, you'll be seeing us shortly. But in this section, what we're going to say is, take care, guys. Stay safe, and on to the next match. On to the next match. This is Cannon for the TV. Alex and Raz signing off.